Hello, my name is Karina, and this is my perfume app. Today I'm going to talk about 10 fragrances that surprised me in the year after starting a fragrance channel. When I just got a notification yesterday that my channel was a year old, and I knew it was coming up, and I thought I should probably talk about that a little bit, maybe why I started a channel, and kind of like maybe the way like my thoughts on fragrances have changed, and maybe like some tips if you wanted to have a channel. And if you have any questions about that, like you can leave them in the comments, and I'm happy to answer them. But anyway, when I started this channel, I knew right from the beginning what I wanted to do. I wanted to offer alternatives to more expensive fragrances. I wanted to show how to find inexpensive fragrances and maybe kind of share my thoughts on how I think about fragrances. I'm playing with my zipper if you hear that noise. The first video I did, I think it was a video about the fragrance Gris Charnel by BDK, and I was trying to show other things in my collection that I thought were similar, good alternatives, and just my thoughts on that fragrance. The way I imagined my channel, it didn't really work out as well like on video. Like I kind of had this thought that I would make like these mind maps, but about perfume, hence my perfume map. But the name has worked out because it really has been kind of more like, I don't know, like a perfume flow, like using your perfume to create almost experiences. I think that's kind of the direction I'm going in, but always with like a frugal slant, because I am really a frugal person. You're seeing me buy a lot of stuff on this channel, and that is because I have used frugality as a tool. I believe it is a tool, and I've had success with it. I've been able to reach a lot of financial goals by being frugal, and now I have some play money, and I am choosing to indulge in a hobby with my play money. So anyway, I thought I would just talk about some of these fragrances because when I first started out, I really thought that I liked heavy, incensey, ambery, kind of like dark, mysterious fragrances. I really thought that that was like what I was into in my whole thing. But I've learned over this last year that I'm actually really into lighter, fresher florals. I still like some dark, moody fragrances, but for the most part, I really like fruity florals, fresh florals, even fragrances that I would have told you a couple years ago, like this is just not for me. I've been buying fragrances for about 5 years, like regularly. I've bought them since I was a little girl, but 5 years ago, and especially during 2020, that's when this like really ramped up for me. But a year ago I started the channel, and things have changed because I started buying lots of perfume, meaning like I would buy a random lot of perfume, mostly from Shop Goodwill, and then I would get to try all kinds of things. And I still would recommend that you try to do something like that, where you get to put your nose on like a whole bunch of fragrances, because you might not know exactly what your taste is until you do that. At least that's been my experience. So we'll go with this. So one perfume that surprised me was Daisy. There's just a little bit in there, but I did get this as part of a lot, and I've seen Daisy a lot of times. I never like sought it out. I never really wanted it. But when I got this in the lot, I realized like I really like this fragrance. I'm just going to spray this on my hand because I don't have much. I don't want to put it on paper. I like this fruity, floral, woody musk. People will kind of like act like this is a fragrance you can pass over. There's nothing really that great about it. But what's great about it is that it's an expertly made fragrance. The perfumer is Alberto Marias. That's a perfumer that I realized I like almost all of their fragrances. They made Estee Lauder Pleasures. And I have really, really come to appreciate a great smelling floral fragrance. I think this is just my opinion, but I think it's kind of easier to make a really weird fragrance. Like I always think of something like, I don't know, some of the niche houses, maybe like Etat Libre d'Orange, and they're making these wild things like I Am Trash or Fat Electrician. I just feel like there's no standard for weird fragrances. but a really beautiful, well done floral fragrance, there's a lot of competition for that. And so when you find one that's really good, I think like that perfumer is very talented. They're not doing something weird. They're not doing something new. They're doing a classic and they're doing it really well. And I think Marc Jacobs Daisy is really good, and it's nothing to be like, oh, I'm not cool. This is a cool fragrance. It's beautiful. Brightest Bloom by Bath & Body Works, solid alternative to it. The next fragrance that surprised me is Sexy Amber Michael Kors. Now, when I think of Michael Kors, I only think of one thing, and that's Project Runway, because when that show came out, I can't even remember when that was, but my husband and I both got into it. And that's kind of a strange thing because my husband and I both, neither one of us really watch TV, but every once in a while we would get into a show, and Project Runway was a show that we really liked. That and Top Chef. Those were both on around the same time. They might still be on, I have no idea. But that's who I think of when I think of Michael Kors. So that's all I really know about him. So I hadn't bought any of his fragrances or anything. Again, this came in a lot. But this is a very nice, it is amber, white florals, and sandalwood. And I love white floral fragrances. This has kind of an old school, it's like a modern white floral. That's what it smells like to me. It does smell like kind of like a Victoria's Secret body spray, but it's very pretty. It's very warm, and I really, really like it. I never would have picked up Michael Kors if I hadn't bought it in a lot, but I am curious about more of his fragrances, and it's been a surprise for me since I started this channel. The next thing, I've realized that like I've kind of replaced what I thought was like a classy rich person fragrance with like a new idea. And I really am into green scents. I think with green fragrances, you either really like them or you don't like them at all. I have never met anybody that's kind of lukewarm about green fragrances. This one here is Elizabeth Arden Green Tea and Bamboo, or just Green Tea Bamboo. It's very similar to the original Elizabeth Arden Green Tea, which is kind of sweet and fresh and lemony and great. This one is much greener smelling. It also has some interesting notes in it. What did I see besides bamboo? It just has some different citruses and different spices and different florals, but it's just like a green tea. It's a little bit darker, not so fresh in like that lemony, sweet lemony way. It's not as sporty smelling. It's more green, and I find this one to be pretty long lasting. So Elizabeth Arden Green Tea and Bamboo. Now this one has become, I don't know. I've worn it a few times recently, and I asked my son to wear it because he likes it. This is Choc de Cardin by Pierre Cardin. It came out in 1981. This is like a more recent bottle. The perfumer is it's so good. You know, it kind of has, it's a very classy green smelling fragrance because it smells super green. There's aldehydes, there's basil, there's green notes, there's patchouli, and it has like, there's something in it that makes it smell kind of smoky. There's something in it that makes it kind of smells like you were up all night chain smoking, just trying to come up with like your next amazing business plan. And then you showered quickly, you got ready, you put on your suit and then your fragrance, but you still kind of smell cigarette-y, but it's in the best way possible. And I do not smoke, nor do I encourage smoking, but I like the idea of like a smoker. Sometimes I just like the idea. And my son even said, I said, would you wear that? And he's like, oh, I wouldn't wear it out of the house. And I'm like, why not? And he's like, because it smells like I've been smoking cigarettes. And it's true, it does. But this is $9, and it just smells kind of old school, rich. That's just, whenever I think of a perfume that like a very wealthy person would wear, And I know this is all, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. But it's not cotton candy. It's not smelling like a snack. It's like the person who's inventing the snack. It's like the person who doesn't care how healthy the snack is, as long as it's going to make them a ton of money, as long as this business is going to be huge. They smell like this. And I love it. It's like, it's soapy and green and cigarette-y all at the same time. I just think it's beautiful, and I love wearing it, and I think it smells really cool. The next perfume that was a big surprise to me is Viva La Juicy by Juicy Couture. And I ended up with 2 bottles of this from Lots. One is the EDP, which I have here, and one is the EDT. This perfume, this exact perfume, is one I would have told you a couple years ago is like the picture of a perfume I would not wear and I do not like, and I don't want anything even that reminds me of this. Because I thought that caramel, vanilla, amber base is just so like tacky. Like the whole Juicy Couture thing, I would just think it's like, it's too tacky, it's too cheesy, it's too like not just, it's just like, it's just not my style. And I know that all sounds really rude, but like that's what I thought about this fragrance. But I've really come around to how good this is. Like this smells sweet, but there's also like a lot of good florals in the mid. There's jasmine. It's very floral. It's very floral with like a very comforting, sweet vanilla caramel amber base. And I like wearing this. Like when I go out wearing this, I don't feel cheesy. I don't feel tacky. I don't feel any of those things that I put on this fragrance before. I just feel like happy and clean, and that I smell good. It smells like a good quality fragrance, and I am sorry for my bad feelings that I had about Juicy Couture. I was wrong. The next one is maybe my favorite find of 2024. If this isn't from 2024, this is, I think, from the early 2000s, but this is Kenneth Cole Reaction for Her. This is a really awesome watermelon, cotton candy, vetiver fragrance. It's like aquatic and earthy and state fair all at the same time. When you first try this fragrance, it smells like any other kind of designer fragrance, like designer sweet fruity floral. But in the dry down, there's nothing else. I don't have anything else like it. And it smells clean and fun at the same time. It smells like clean cotton candy. The vetiver, which is sometimes a really hard fragrance for me to totally wrap my mind around because it can smell like chewy and grassy and like a savanna. It's perfect. It's perfectly mixed with cotton candy. I don't know why. But this is a beautiful, masterful perfume. The perfumer is Laurent Lagernac. I love every perfume by Laurent Lagernac I've ever smelled. I felt kind of the same way. On first sniff, you're just like, okay. But as you wear it, you're like, this is really interesting. There's always something, there's always like a twist, you know, like there's like, I'm thinking of like Fergie Outspoken, which has like saffron and leather and plum. And it's just like, and tuberose. It's like unexpected things together that smell amazing. And I really love this fragrance. It was one of my greatest, blind buys from a lot that I tried in 2024. The next one is a surprise for so many reasons. So this fragrance is called Police to Be Exotic Jungle. And it's in this like tattooed skull with a grill. I mean, there's the name, the bottle, everything is wrong. This does not smell anything like a jungle. It doesn't smell like tattoos or a grill or anything like that. It smells a lot like, to a lot of people, it smells like Lancôme La Nuit Trésor. I think that's how you say it. Oh, to me, it's a beautiful dark plum, sweet, powdery, sugary fragrance. It's sweet and fruity and floral. This is beautiful. It doesn't smell like a jungle. It doesn't smell green. It doesn't smell it's just gorgeous. And the perfumer, I think you pronounce her name Matilda Bijou. That's, if it's wrong, I apologize to everybody. But she also created Gris Charnel. And I'm pretty sure this is why I bought it, because I was looking for other things maybe she had done after I had tried Gris Charnel. This is a great fragrance. I haven't tried anything else by Police, but I've seen a lot of reviews, and I feel like about all of the fragrances, people feel the same way. Like, don't understand the bottle with the fragrance, but the fragrances are really, really good. And I think this smells like a mixture of like Rihanna Rogue and Cloud by Ariana Grande. That's kind of what I get. It's just kind of a sweet but like earthy, pretty powdery fragrance. The next one is Banana Republic W. This I think came out in the 90s, and this is a citrus lily of the valley musk smell. Again, pretty fruity. Oh, this is super good. This smells, you smell the citrus, you smell that fresh lily of the valley, which can smell sort of like, it's kind of a clean laundry smell, but like a really good clean laundry smell, like not over the top. And musk. This just smells pretty, pretty woman, clean, on the go, no nonsense. No fear about appearing pretty or beautiful. There's kind of this thing that I feel like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like people are trying to embrace like a certain type of I don't want to say ugly. I don't mean ugly. It's like kind of I don't know, maybe criticizing beauty. I don't know. Like, I don't really get it. I think beautiful, if you just think about beautiful in a positive way, and you're not saying that, like, you know, certain things are beautiful because of biases, just beautiful. This is just a beautiful fragrance, and there's no denying it. It's pretty, it's gonna do the trick, and it's the kind of fragrance I just really appreciate in its simplicity. The next one is more complex, but it's pretty cheap, and it has really good perfumers behind it. This is Blue Seduction by Antonio Banderas, and my husband even wears this fragrance sometimes because it says blue, but it doesn't smell blue. You know what it smells like to me is, it smells like pine trees and florals. It has patchouli and benzoin in the base, and that's what you smell a lot of. Then there's some citrus in the top and florals in the mid. It's very interesting. It does smell sort of masculine, but it has this fresh, if there's anything blue about it, it would be like the ocean next to the redwoods, like a Northern California beach, Stinson Beach, you know, Muir Woods, that kind of blue fragrance. The perfumers are Olivier Kress, Elizabeth Vidal, and Rosendo Matu. So check out Antonio Banderas for some really good cheapies. I think I paid less than $15 for this. Blue Seduction. And it's a big surprise. I bought this one like on eBay. I picked it out and bought it, and was just really surprised by like how fresh it is and how much I really, really like it. And the last thing I want to talk about is Musk by Bath & Body Works. I had it on my list to buy Diptyque's L'Eau Papier. I thought that that was the most beautiful thing I'd ever smelled, and I really wanted it. It had been on my list. And then one day I walked into Bath & Body Works during a $4.99 sale. I saw this fragrance. I'd never heard anybody mention it. When I picked it out, the associate there was like, "Do you like that one?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think so." And she's like, I said, "Do you?" And she said, "No." Ugh, no. So I was like, what is the deal, you know? It is almost a 1-to-1 L'Eau Papier. I bought a little sample, and I just can't believe it. This smells just like it. And they have a they have a candle called like Book. I burned it. I wish I should have shown it, but it smelled just like this too, like Bookshelf or Book. It's in the White Barn section of their candles, but they have a candle. It's the exact same fragrance, but it's called like Book something. But I mean, you're getting like a diptyque candle for, I bought it for $10.95. And this I bought for $4.95, 8 ounces of essentially the exact same fragrance. And this is very long lasting. People who bought this one and love it, I feel like we know how good it is. Not everybody liked this one. Not everybody picked this one up. This is like the fragrance that I think made me officially like team Bath and Body Works, because I just couldn't believe that this one fragrance that I had picked out of so many things that I've smelled, and I said, I'm going to spend the money on it. And then I randomly go in there and spend $5 and I get it at Bath and Body Works. Bath and Body Works always has my attention. It's probably the only fragrance company that I actually am like current with as far as what they're coming out with. I don't buy everything. I skip a lot of sales, but I'm always aware of it and I'm always considering it, and I will continue to in the future. And I just really appreciate what they do, because I think they offer very good value to lots of people, and they have lots of locations. So anyway, this has been my first year on YouTube, and these are 10 fragrances that surprised me. I would say that if you're thinking about starting a fragrance channel, you should do it. I think if you have an angle that you want to express, then that's what you should do. Some people like to do new releases. Some people like to try luxury goods. I think if you have a passionate opinion about fragrance, especially while you're watching other people, if you're like, hey, I don't agree, or I don't like that fragrance, like go ahead and start a fragrance channel. It did take me about 9 months to monetize my channel, meaning that, you know, YouTube said I had enough views and enough subscribers to share some of the ad money with me. If you wanted to know how much money I make from this channel, I'll tell you that so far it seems like I make about, I think I'm going to make about $150 a month. That's what it seems like. I'm not sure because I've only have a few months to go on, but it seems like that's about what it is. Nothing that I can live off of, but I mean, nothing to like shake a stick at either. I mean, why not? Why not go for it? Anyway, I hope you're having a great day. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's Eve, and I will talk to you really soon. Bye-bye. Subscribe.